Jeremy Corbyn has been MP for 41 years, has been, by all accounts, a very good constituency MP and helped many people in his time. But being a solo member, sitting probably with the Ulster Unionists or whoever else on the opposition benches on his own, with no other colleagues, with no other party to try and enact change, will not be able to bring about change. The only way that you can do that is through the Labour Party.
The big Labour story today is actually involves somebody who's now not in the Labour Party. This is Jeremy Corbyn announced he will stand against Labour as an independent candidate in the election.
I believe in democracy. I want our political parties to be democratic. But members of Islington North Labour have been denied the right to choose their own candidate. And alongside that, the community as a whole has been disempowered because of that. So we have to stand up. We have to stand up and say, we're not taking this anymore. We will assert our rights. That's why I'm standing to be an independent candidate for the people of Islington North.
So how big a deal is this, Patrick?
Depends. It depends where you live. Exactly, you live in North London. Look, I think Jeremy Corbyn was always going to do this. It's been a very badly kept secret to the extent that I reported it in the Times, I think last March, that he was going to do this. Is it a big deal? I mean, look, I think it's a bigger deal for Keir Starmer more than anybody else. There's a debate over whether Jeremy Corbyn can win that seat in which I live. I think as independents go, he has a better chance than most of them. We'll see. But for Keir Starmer, I know there's considerable delight in Labour HQ this morning at the very top of the Labour Party. So they can say, look, he's not a Corbynite, Keir Starmer. He may have said in Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet, but our changed Labour Party, in quotation marks, has changed so dramatically that Jeremy Corbyn isn't in it. Now, the next question, by the way, and Keir Starmer has been asked about this elsewhere this morning, is, OK, Jeremy Corbyn's been expelled from the Labour Party. Is Diane Abbott next? Are they going to let Diane Abbott, Jeremy Corbyn's great ally, former Shadow Home Secretary, who's been suspended for over a year, are they going to let her stand?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Good to see you, Patrick. Patrick Gardiner, Times Radio's senior political correspondent. Well, the news of Jeremy Corbyn standing against the Labour Party, there's been a lot of reaction to that this morning, including from the Win Islington North group. It's formed over 100 members of the local Labour Party. They say they're confident Jeremy Corbyn doesn't have the support of the majority of local party members. Alexander Gardiner is the group's organiser and joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your message today to members of the Labour Party who might want to support Jeremy Corbyn?
Simply that he's just a distraction, because clearly it is about getting Labour into government so that Labour can put Labour policies into action and transform the country. Jeremy Corbyn has been MP for 41 years, has been, by all accounts, a very good constituency MP and helped many people in his time. But being a solo member, sitting probably with the Ulster Unionists or whoever else on the opposition benches on his own, with no other colleagues, with no other party to try and enact change, will not be able to bring about change. The only way that you can do that is through the Labour Party. And part of the reason we launched our group, which is spontaneous, it's largely social, it's not aligned to any faction within the Labour Party, is because of this myth that somehow the whole of the Islington North Labour Party are united behind Jeremy Corbyn, when frankly that's just not the case. We need to remember that Islington North Labour Party nominated Keir Starmer to be the leader in the leadership election, and the Islington North Labour Party members all want a Labour government.
You're calling on those people, members of the executive of the local Labour Party, who won't condemn the candidacy of Jeremy Corbyn and support the Labour candidate, to stand down. Just how serious is the split in the local Labour Party?
Well, clearly, he's been MP for 41 years. He's formed good relationships and good friendships with the upper echelons of the party. And so I think that some of the people within the constituency party have really strong loyalty to Jeremy Corbyn. And it's been noticeable that since he's not been entitled to stand as a Labour candidate, that they keep inviting him to speak at party events. I think that there's a danger that that becomes a drag anchor to what could be a very successful local campaign. So what we want, obviously, is if you have a party that is campaigning to get their candidate into government, that the party all throw themselves into it and do it enthusiastically.
And is this actually, in your opinion, good news for for Keir Starmer? Because it demonstrates that he's changed the Labour Party, albeit he's spent 2 general elections telling the country to make Jeremy Corbyn Prime Minister.
I think it is good news for the Labour Party. I think you need to look at different parts of the country. In Islington North, it might be a bit more contentious, but I have lots of friends that live in northern seats who, Jeremy Corbyn, after the Shripple statement, absolutely horrified them, and they wouldn't vote for a Labour Party that had that sort of politics. And so I think for the Labour Party as a whole, it's a very positive way of showing that we're really serious about government, we're serious about security, and that is just, and that we can be patriotic and proud of the nation that we are.
I
And
suppose,
think that's
Alexander, people
important.
listening to this will remember that when Jeremy Corbyn was responding to the Salisbury poisoning and suggesting that we send a sample of the chemical agent to Russia so they can tell us whether or not it's theirs, Keir Starmer was sitting on the front bench. He was a part of Jeremy Corbyn's team trying to make him Prime Minister. Do you think that rouses any questions about Keir Starmer's judgment?
I think that MPs at that time faced a really tough decision. Do they go into the shadow cabinet and try and act as a restraining influence on Jeremy Corbyn, or do they sit outside and leave him to his own devices? Different people took different decisions, I think, all honourably. But the mark of the man is what he does when he is in a position to actually make the decisions and take control. And I think that just the level of seriousness about what needs to be done to genuinely change Britain, solutions and not slogans, I think is what we should be looking at, rather than whether it was right to try and be a break on Jeremy Corbyn or just sit outside.
Alex, good to speak to you. Alex Gardiner there from the Win Islington North group, a group of Labour Party members reacting to the news that Jeremy Corbyn is going to stand there as an independent.
We're off. Well done, Jeremy. You made the day. You made it a great day for everyone. We all enjoyed it. Hello, James. James. Yeah, I think people feel much better from here.
You are the candidate now. I don't know what it is. I've never seen what the hell's going on in this phone. What is happening?